I'm going to talk today basically about this one case that we worked on, which was the Baby Gammy case. And although I'm a lawyer, this was a case that we didn't do really in our capacity as lawyers. And the purpose of me being here today is to actually get you to do all the work, except I won't bill you. So in true lawyer style, hopefully it doesn't impose on the presentation in terms of sound or anything, but I'll ask a few questions because I want you to put yourself in Gammy's position, Baby Gammy's position. This happened 3 years or 4 years ago and happened on Christmas Eve. Gammy was born to a mother in Thailand who was commissioned by an Australian couple who tried for many, many years to have children, but struggled with that and moved overseas to try and secure their child that they wanted. During the pregnancy, it became apparent to the mother and also the commissioning parents, who are Australian, that the child had Down syndrome, which is obviously quite a serious disability which requires ongoing care throughout the child's life. And obviously there are many things that cross people's minds when during a pregnancy, at early stages of pregnancy, that they realize that a child is suffering a disability, and that came into play obviously. The child fortunately was born, and also along with his twin sister, who's called Pippa. Now, for various reasons which aren't really necessary to gauge your views as to what if you were in Gammy's position, how you would feel about the situation. But various events transpired, and the commissioning parents took just Pippa, who was a very healthy child, home to Australia, and they live there now. Whilst Baby Gammy was left in Thailand with the commissioning mother, and fortunately an Australian charity which received a lot of funding, not only from Australia but also internationally, was able to provide the care that's necessary for this child, and hopefully continue to provide the care that's necessary for this child. What I'm asking you tonight is to put yourself in Gammy's position. This is a child who obviously, as Jake pointed out right at the start, we were all children, one day, once upon a time. And at the time you were a child, you're probably not aware of these issues that might affect you, that parents, commissioning parents, your birth mother, people paying for you, people not accepting funds for you for various things, are fighting over your life, fighting over your well-being, who you can see, who you'll be able to see. And so if you put yourself in Gammy's position, there are a number of parties fighting over this child. And this child has now been deprived of his sister, has been deprived of contact with his sister, living with his sister. I won't go into legal issues. There are requirements now because of Australian law that contact remain. That's a fundamental right, that you are aware of your birth, of your genetic details, and that you have ongoing contact with siblings who are genetically related to you. But leaving that aside, if you were to grow up to your ages now, and there are varied ages, but you're all quite young, if you put yourself 20, 25, 30 years ago into Baby Gammy's position, and you were deprived of the right, or you were deprived of access and knowing your sister, spending time with your sister in early stages. I have a twin sister, and I couldn't imagine a world without spending time with her and without knowing her. If you put yourself in Baby Gammy's position, he had no voice to fight. I mean, it was a fight between his birth mother, it was a fight between his commissioning parents. And if you put yourself in his position, and this is a difficult question to answer, so I'm going to ask you, is how would you feel? What do you think should be done about this? Because, and this is a long question, but as Rishi and I found out through a case we ran with the Human Rights Committee, which was simply to seek recognition that this child's rights have been violated by Australia, simply because Australia allowed the children to be broken up by allowing the commissioning parents to bring the twin sister home. If you we're left in this situation where no one would speak for you. Obviously, your birth mother obviously has certain interests, trying to act in your interests, and also commissioning parents are obviously always very interested in children born of a surrogacy arrangement. But if the law can't help a baby like Baby Gammy, and he would only be around today if it were for these charities. If these charities didn't exist, he may well not be here. And what I might do is, if it's appropriate, if anyone can try and answer that question. I mean, if you put yourself in Baby Gammy's position, what chance do you have? What do you think should be done? Should we be looking to ban surrogacy because it could lead to a situation like this, whilst this specific situation was quite rare, as Rishi has pointed out with cases in India. Children's rights are often neglected in debates about surrogacy when the child is the fundamental part of a surrogacy arrangement.